often characters in movies make mistakes. Hell, we all do. Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today we're covering bad decisions in movies. Characters who make the biggest mistakes and they cost them dearly. Kicking off this video with 2007's The Mist, based on a short story by Mr. Stephen King, and it is about, in fact, some mist that takes over a tiny town. What lies in the mist is more terrifying than you can ever imagine. If you haven't seen this movie, it's about a group of people enclosed in a supermarket while this mist is taking over the town, like I had mentioned. Now, there's one particular character played by Thomas Jane. He is desperate to go seek out his wife, but by the end, him and a few survivors all race to the nearest car. While this mist has completely taken over, there is a moment where there looks to be no solution. Thomas Jane has a gun and turns it on the survivors within the car, including his own son. By the time he gets out of the vehicle and realizes what he's done, along comes help. The mist has cleared up, and it is just a difficult watch and a difficult decision, to say the least. Next up, we have Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg. There's one true villain aside from the shark. That is the mayor of this little town. So the 4th of July is upon us in this movie, so I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Jaws is about a great white shark that it attacks people, kills people surrounding this local beach. Once word gets out, the mayor just brushes it off. Even though there's been a few attacks, the 4th of July is coming up, and that's the biggest, tourist attraction this little town has to offer. The mayor just stupidly decides to keep the town running, even though there is a shark nearby. Basically, he's chasing the money. It's a business decision. This is the mayor. That's what he does. Politics, whatnot. Next up, we have a movie from Denis Villeneuve called Prisoners. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, it is about two families who gather together for Thanksgiving, and each family has a daughter who end up going missing on the same day. At the same time, there's a person of interest who happens to be like the main suspect, and this suspect is put through the ringer physically and mentally. Hugh Jackman is one of the fathers. He steps in, kidnaps the guy, and it gets brutal. A lot of emotions flare up from both families, and it turns out that this guy that's being accused of kidnapping these two girls is in fact not the kidnapper, not the person responsible, but Hugh Jackman. By that time, we discover this twist. Hugh Jackman's way over his head. The little girls in the movie are alive and well, rescued. So that's the good thing about this movie. But yeah, Hugh Jackman takes the law into his own hands in Prisoners. All right, next up, I'm going to talk about 1993's Jurassic Park. It's my favorite movie of all time, number one, in case you didn't know that. But let's talk about John Hammond. He found a way. He cracked the code, right? The DNA, discovered dino DNA, and filled in the gaps and brought dinosaurs back to life along with his crew of scientists. Someone planted this idea. Let's take it even further. Let's take it a step further. We have dinosaurs. We want to show them off to the world. How are we going to do that? Opening up a petting zoo. Opening up a big attraction for tourists to see these huge dinosaurs for the first time. And what could go wrong? Well, a lot of technical things go wrong, and to make it worse, you get a bunch of strangers together and test out this park, knowing that nothing is secured. Your fences aren't secured, that your computers are going out of whack, and there's a lot of issues going on within this park. A domino effect, right? Once one domino goes, the rest follow. Don't actually open up this park. And what he does the opposite, of course. He learns the hard way. Next up, we have Old Country for Old Men. This is the Coen brothers movie. It's about a guy who finds some money that belongs to some really bad guys. Now, his mistake is taking off with the money, not knowing who it belongs to. To make matters worse, there is a hitman after this money, after Josh Brolin, who is the guy who has the money, and there are dire consequences by the end. Everyone caught up in this situation within this movie is either not a good person or doesn't make it out of the situation alive. Next up, we have the Evil Dead series. Very famous horror franchise from director Sam Raimi. Bruce Campbell starring in the lead as Ash. The Evil Dead from the 1980s. About a group of friends who spend a weekend in a cabin. Everything's going well until they discover a book of spells, Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead. We know as the audience what to expect from these movies because that's the catalyst, right? A character discovering one of these books, reading the incantation, and bringing out a source of evil. Next up, we're jumping onto an A24 film, Hereditary from 2018. Now, this is a diabolical movie, and a lot of sinister stuff is planned within the background of this movie. Are our characters. There's a family that's grieving. A family member has died. There is a plan in motion for this little family. So you're probably wondering, where's the mistake? Where does the mistake lie within Hereditary? Well, it's quite simple, actually. The mother, played by Toni Collette, orders the teenage son and the teenage daughter to go to a party together. Of course, there's going to be drinking and smoking, and so the girl's left alone. She eats something that causes her to have an allergic reaction so bad that she's about to lose her life. She's being driven to the hospital by her brother. Once she has her head out the window for air, her head gets knocked off by something out of the road, and it's just a despicable display of sheer terror and shock. But yeah, that's the catalyst. This girl was chosen to be part of some demonic cult. Finishing off this video with 2002's The Ring. Now, it's essentially about a VHS tape that goes around, and there is a curse. Whoever plays the VHS tape is set to die within 7 days, and Naomi Watts is who accidentally watches the tape. Now, makes it her mission to unravel this mystery, the source of this VHS tape and where it came from. I applaud this movie after all these years because it gives you. This movie gives you 50% scares, 50% mystery. It's a slow burn, but it certainly pays off in the end. Guys, these are just, a handful of movies. I can do another 2 or 3 videos about characters in movies making dumb decisions. Guys, let me know in the comments below. What's one character within a movie that makes a terrible decision? Plenty more content to come this week, guys. My name is Joel. This is Dark Room Reviews, and I'll catch you guys very soon. Take care.
Folks, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps out in the long run. Dark Room Reviews, it's the place you should be subscribed to.